And there I'm fighting, my German is not so good. So I just started shouting random words like Schnitzel, Schrankschlüssel, whatever, just whatever I have to do to get a beamer working.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Game Dev Podcast. And as you hear, we speak in English, and this means we have our special guest Danijel again.
Good evening, guys.
Whoop whoop. And Marcel is here as well.
Hey.
Hola, hola, Marcel. And I'm Simon.
I actually invited Bao as well. He's gonna maybe pop in unannounced. I apologize.
Oh, okay. This will be an adventure, like it was with the Digital Art Conference, because this podcast, like you maybe already read in the title of the audio file or in the podcatcher, it's about the Digital Art Conference. How do you say this? It's
Postmortem.
Postmortem.
Yeah, postmortem. Because this conference was happening, and now we came together to talk about it again.
Exactly.
I think there's actually one thing I did plan to do. So I wanted to start off with a couple of thankses and special thankses.
Go on, man.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of thanks have to be given. I have to thank all the volunteers, including Django, Christina, Maria. These guys saved my ass many times during the conference. They don't need any guidance. They knew exactly what to do, when to do it. So that really helped a lot. Thank you, guys. Especially I had some legendary volunteers. They were amazing. Just proactive, always asking what to do, what next to do, or when to do it. So amazing. Thank you, guys. Of course, again, Danijel, Liske, and Keman. They were great help, great source of advice, as well as Johannes and Simon. They also gave me some really good advice early on and later on. So they all made the event way better. And of course, all the speakers, thanks for trusting me, for coming and having a good time without knowing what to expect. Like, for example, I was talking to Bao recently and Chris after the day after the conference. We were having some drinks at my place. And Chris was like, yeah, I just heard it was a conference and it's in a hostel. And that's all. So, and he just, on this note, he just decided to come and see what happens. So I'm glad it took a chance. I'm glad it worked out as it did, because it was a lot of fun. And of course, one last thing, Mitch, or also known as the Mantissa. This guy really, without him, there wouldn't be such a boom of an opener. The video he made, I didn't ask for it. It was a surprise. And I really, you're a legend. It really made the event way better. The only thing that made me sad was that I realized that I got outclassed in design by him. So right now I'm using his style for the conference everywhere.
Yeah, it looks so good, man. I remember I was sitting next to you and was like, wow, that looks really good. Was it done in Houdini or something?
Blender.
And you said like, no, it's made in Blender. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And then just now, 5 minutes ago, I showed it to a Blender Pro I know. Lino, hey, I know you listen to this podcast. Greetings goes to you. and he's like, wow, that looks very professional. So it looks really good. To all the listeners, watch it. We will link it and on the website of the podcast. But for all of those who didn't listen to the first episode, just a short summary. So back then there was this conference thingy. It was called the Digital Art Conference, and it was created by people from the Digital Art Forum, where Danijel Liske is basically the creator or the founder of the forum. And for some reason, I don't know, too busy or something, the organizers of this event couldn't do it. And then Danijel came in and said, I want to recreate something like that. So, and this is where the Digital Art Conference 2017 was born from. Yeah, and this is what we are talking about now. And if you, dear listener, don't know what we are talking about, you can listen to, I think it was episode 14 or something from this podcast.
Episode 12. I still remember.
Episode, oh, thanks, man. Episode 12, where we talk about this. And it was a really cool episode. Did I describe that correctly? Did I summarize that correctly, Danijel?
Yeah, that's, I think, I don't think we should revisit the whole story. If people are interested, you can just go to the 12 podcast and listen to how I got inspired and how I was thinking then. Although I have to quick note that back then I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing, seriously. So a lot of things that were said or ideas didn't end or were, let's say, refined or transformed or changed in the end. So just a small side note.
So how maybe every one of us, maybe starting with Marcel or me, can you give a short impression? Like, okay, how was the impression of the event?
Yeah, sure. I basically had no expectations at all because I had no idea what exactly it's going to turn into. Like probably nobody else had, but I thought it was an amazing event because it was very unconventional. It was nothing like all of the other conferences I've been to. You were basically surrounded by like-minded people. Everybody was somehow like an artist in some way. And the other impressive thing was the ratio between like pros and students and male and females. This was like, I think you once said, Danijel, like 50-50 pros, students, and 50-50 male-female,
yeah,
roughly. Which was just incredible. Like for such an event was really amazing. And the atmosphere was great. Everybody that I met was like awesome. All of the speakers. I mean, we can talk about like the pre-party, like day -1 basically. Just amazing people that I met there. And I'm really looking forward to kind of meeting them again in the future, hopefully at one point. Because it was just like a great like bonding event, and like the atmosphere was just amazing. The talks were great as well. Obviously, the ones there was always like 2 talks at the same time happening, and so I missed 50% basically. But those ones that I've seen were like top-notch quality. Like it's equal to what you basically can see at GDCs and stuff like that.
So I wouldn't worry too much about the other half. They're all recorded. Actually, I have to disappoint you, Marcel. Your recording was lost. we forgot. I'm sorry, we forgot to press the record button.
I was the first speaker. And I was the guinea pig. You know, everything that can go wrong went wrong.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, first of all, we forgot to press the button. Second of all, we didn't realize the camera only records for 20 minutes and then stops. I have no idea why. So. Yeah, a few mistakes were made with the recording the first day, so your talk is with the memories of those who were there. That's also romantic, no?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really mind that, to be honest. It was fun to have that talk, and people seem to like it. So if you want to know what I was talking about, you have to talk to them, ask them.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't take too much away from the event because due to some circumstances, I had to come later on Friday. The event was starting on Friday and was ending on Sunday, and I only had a little time on Saturday, unfortunately. But when I came Friday evening, late in the evening, it was super cool. You come there and there's music, everyone is pretty chilled, good. And it was a lounge atmosphere, basically. Like, everyone was sitting there. You could see a lot of Cintiqs or other drawing pads where the people were just going creative. It was really nice atmosphere. And I was like, I enjoyed it for 5 minutes. Then I said, okay, where's Danijel? I need a room. I need time. I need to prepare my talk.
Oh, God.
Because, and I mean, this might sound like I was lazy before, but I invested already a lot of time into my talk, but still it wasn't enough. And then I needed to do some last tweaks. It was really, oh man. And then I was sitting basically like until midnight or something.
Yeah, until midnight in the top room all alone. And I came like 2 or 3 times. I said, God, man, come down, have a drink, party. And you're like, no, I want this to be good. I want this to be perfect, you said.
I was so looking forward to meeting Simon that night, but I just saw him like running around in the stairwell for like a millisecond. I was like running up and down, and then he was gone. I was like,
Yeah, and then I was sleeping, and then I was waking up, doing the talk, enjoying 1 hour of the event or something, and then I had to go to the train again. But what I saw was really good. And I hope if there's another event like this, I can enjoy it more, and then I don't know, keep my schedule clear from other circumstances and events.
Yeah, next time, or if it happens next time, you should just clear it out and just come over the whole time. It was I had a good time. I mean, my impression is quite different than most people. According to feedback, I looked extremely stressed. People thought I would die, but yeah, my impression is a bit different because I was in the backstage handling all the difficulties, doing everything I could do to keep the show running, because the most important thing was to keep the show running without any hiccups. But in the end, I survived, and everything, or let's just say that what I didn't mention in the previous podcast is that from the start, I had a very specific vision of how I wanted people to feel at the event. And I didn't talk about this because most people will have no idea what I'm talking about. But I have been to a lot of dance festivals, Brazilian dance festivals, other dance festivals, anyways. And these events, what the people who were at the conference this year, the way they felt and the way the event went and what happened, this combination of during the day workshops, in the evening, like a lounge, chill out atmosphere, people talking each other, helping each other, speakers who are approachable all the time. This inspiration didn't come from an art or a tech conference. This came from these dancing festivals I went to. And it's the exact same atmosphere where you go there, there's a bunch of people who are professional, semi-professionals, beginners. You have teachers who are kind of famous or dance teachers in their own world. And they're just sitting there giving workshops during the day. You can talk to them, drink with them. In the evening, they just party and they dance with you. So the mood I was aiming for, I already knew from the beginning what I wanted. And I was really happy that it turned out exactly as I hoped it would be. And it was basically these dance events, but then instead of filled with dancers, it's just filled with artists. And we were doing the exact same thing, but instead of dancing, we're drawing and drinking. So I'm really happy that I took a risk and it turned out the way I planned it to, minus the technical difficulty, of course.
I really like that you planned it with a definition of a feeling. That's something I heard about like game design some days ago in a podcast where they said you should define what the player should feel when he plays the game, and from that you can start and developing some, I don't know, game mechanics or something. And I really like that that this was the vision, and I think you accomplished it. I mean, at least from the 10 minutes I saw the event, it was exactly that. It was super chill, super cool music. Also the light. I mean, you did crazy stuff, right? Okay, just to describe this to the people. You would have 2 floors. In the lower floor there was a little room, and then there was in the upper floor a really big room with a stage and all that stuff, and cinema seats. And cinema seats, and it was really comfortable. Maybe we can show some photos here while we are talking on your device, on your podcatchers. But for example, on these tables, there were these triangles, these glowing triangles and stuff like that. So you got really creative with your decoration, right?
Okay, this is a specific story, and first of all, there has to be special thanks has to be given, a huge thanks has to be given to Christina. She was the girl at the reception, also one of the models. She did all this work, and it was a lot of work, and I really thank you so much. And of course, and Maria also helped her, the other receptionist and model. Basically, the story behind this is, the logo was a triangle, or an inverted triangle. And I wanted to do something with the triangle, but so I was just looking at options of maybe renting stuff or whatever, buying stuff, but it was all too expensive, just not realistic with first edition. And it was not, it was not important. But then, one day, Christina messaged me, said like, hey, I saw this YouTube tutorial, and what this guy did was he took 3 glue sticks and he just poked a hole in it and just put LED lights in them and connect it with the battery. And, and you tape them together and you have a triangle. I was like, hey, this looks really cool. So
with glue sticks, you mean like the sticks from a hot glue gun, like the
sticks,
those plastic
exactly.
bars. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it looked really amazing. So I said, okay. She said, yeah, I can do this for you. It's no problem. Okay. So I ordered 100 glue sticks, 300 LED lights, and 100 batteries from Amazon. And then they arrived, and then we made one. And it was a bit more work than expected and a little bit dangerous work, and then one triangle can stay on for like 4 days. We tried it out. So in the end, what Christina and Maria did, they prepared all the sticks the night or 2 nights before, and then on Friday they spent like, I think, a really long time just taping everything together, because they were motivated, and it's like these little details that make it cool. And I'm really grateful for them for doing this, because I wouldn't have the time or the creativity to make up this stuff. So, but a lot of people gave me compliments on this. The triangle, they're like, oh, it's such a nice detail. And this is like I said, when there was a whole feeling in my mind how I want people to feel, and these little details I was looking for some solution or something like this, because I knew it would accomplish the feeling I would want to give in the people, or in the evening at least.
Yeah, it was really cool. One detail I really liked as well was I came there, and then I saw on the wall there was the Game Dev Podcast logo. This was super cool. We shot a selfie from the 3 of us, right? So you mentioned that you had a model there. So you are talking about live drawing models, right?
Yeah, you missed it. It's a shame.
I totally missed it, man. That's super sad. So how was it?
Have you seen the videos online?
No, nothing. I didn't see anything.
They're on Facebook. Yeah, you should like the page and you will get the updates. So again, the receptionists, Christina and Maria, they were super awesome. They're very creative people, and I asked them, because they do photo shoots and stuff. They're girls. They have experience with this stuff. They do it, and they're quite photogenic as well. So I just asked them, like, can you come up with some kind of concept, for the live model? And then with the help of another volunteer and my colleague, Chris K, he's an amazing guy. I have to thank him as well. They came up with this whole cool concept in the middle of the room. You can see it in the pictures, where they just stacked some palette together on some beer kiste, and with a cool light, and then the girls, they dressed up nicely in one in a red dress, the other in a blue dress, and they made like these LED light earrings in the color, and everything. It was amazing. So thank you guys.
Oh, it sounds nice. Sad that I missed it, man. But all these volunteers, where did you get them from?
Well, first of all, let's say the Chris K, my colleague, he's a designer at the company I work with. He just said, oh, this sounds cool. Can I just come on Friday and see if it's nice? If it's nice, I'll stay. So this guy shows up on Friday, and he's like, oh my God, I just saw this guy, and something about textures. And he's like, I can't ever look at the floor a normal way again, because everywhere I see textures now. So he completely loved it, and he just decided to stay. So I just gave him a volunteer shirt, said, okay, you're now a volunteer, and the guy just ran with it. The other volunteers was a bit more structured. I just put out a call online on Facebook and the website, and I just got some applications from people, really cool people. One, Lydia from Spain, she was amazing. Was also from Berlin, one, I believe, or Marburg, I forgot. And from Darmstadt.
Cologne, there was Cologne. From Cologne, I think there was somebody from the game lab.
Yeah, as well. So it was, I got really lucky with the volunteers, because they were all super nice, super proactive. And and they were all related to the game industry as well in some way, or interested. So I just put out a call, and I got some answers, and I did a Skype interview, short call, to see, what's their experience, what's my expectation. It's a little bit difficult, of course. They had a lot of questions about organization, about structure, about everything that goes around, and I had no clear answers, because I didn't even know what to expect yet. But it turned out really well, because, like I said, they were extremely proactive and experienced. So I quickly realized on Friday after meeting that like I can count on these people, and that really lowered my stress levels.
Oh, that's nice. What I loved, what you did was like the night before.
Oh, the night before
the convention started, because that felt to me like exactly the right thing to do. To hang out like for a couple of hours, have dinner and beer in a bar, get to know each other, and you basically booked a table at this place in Sachsenhausen in Frankfurt, like Depot, and I came like an hour late.
You were fashionably late.
Because I had to.
It was fashionable.
I had to. Yeah, I mean, I was still one of the early ones. But when I came, there was like you and like 3 or 4 other people sitting there, and I didn't even meet you in person yet. So everybody that I met there was like first contact, pretty much, like physically.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like all of those people that I met that night, most of them were speakers. A couple of them were just like normal guests. They were just amazing guys. We spent, I think I went to bed at 2 or something, which was probably a little bit of a mistake because I was super tired in the morning and I thought I will never make it through the day. Yeah. I mean, we can go to the details later. But when I came in on Friday, it was not morning anymore. I think 11 or 12. I already knew everybody. So it was like you just hang out with your friends, you know, it was amazing. And there was not that awkward feeling of getting to know each other while you have to prepare your talk and you have to kind of like, who the hell is that guy? And, you know, all of that was already kind of done and familiar faces all over the place. And it immediately turned into like a very enjoyable and relaxed event where, yeah, you were just surrounded by people that you know already.
Yeah, it's like it felt like I wanted to create like a safe atmosphere, or like a temporary safe haven for artists in some way. This is what I mean. I have to admit, I also got lucky with the realities. I live in Frankfurt, so I do it in Frankfurt. But the location is amazing. I mean, I spoke to Danijel, and he said that he didn't leave the building for 3 days. He said he walked in at Friday morning and he left on Sunday evening for the first time out the building. And he said he didn't even think 1 second about, you know, the outside world. He was just completely consumed, which is one of the things I was aiming for when I got the location, when I saw it, this was one of the things I was aiming for. But yeah, also one of the things I wanted to do originally was to get all the speakers, or as many speakers as possible, here in Frankfurt on Thursday. But given the fact that it's a first event and it's not really the most essential part, so I decided not to do it because of financial reasons, and I think it was a wise decision. But some speakers live here, like you, Marcel, and Michel, and some speakers had to come earlier because they come from far away, like Miguel from Malmo. So yeah, and for example, Keman, he was already back in Frankfurt. So in last minute, I said, okay, you know what? Let's do this pre-drink. Let's just do it. And I remember because on my best friend Django, who was also a volunteer and great helper. He's more how do you say, more sane than me, or more realistic. And I said, like, you know, let's just do let's go have a small drink tonight. Like, just put out a call on Facebook and we'll see whoever shows up. Because I had Miguel, who was here arriving, he arrived at 7. So I said, you know, pick him up and then, you know, drop him off at the hotel, and then we go for a drink, you know. In worst case, it's just 3 of us. And he was like, no, don't do it. It's not smart. You know, it's the first time. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. I'm like, no, it's cool. Everything will be fine. The hostel said everything is okay. There will be no problems. We can just go for a small drink, you know, from 8 to 10. No big deal. And of course, so eventually I just put out the call, and let's just say I didn't get at home at 10 and nothing went as planned on Friday. So it was, maybe I should have listened to him, but I'm glad I didn't, because we had an awesome time. And a lot more people showed up.
It was totally worth it. It was totally worth it.
And you still wanted to party after 2, but I at one point I said, okay, we gotta cut this off, because otherwise, I mean, everyone wanted to party.
Party machine, Marcel.
I mean, everybody wanted to party, and Marcel was like, yeah, let's go, one more. I'm like, okay, now I really have to bring back the guests or the speakers to their hotel.
Yeah, that was very, very good from you.
You're a bad influence, man.
You even had like people sleeping over your place, right? So you probably didn't get a lot of sleep, right?
At least when you came home, you had some rest, right?
No, I did not. No, oh my God, you have no idea what has happened.
I heard something talking about a mattress or something like that. Can you say something about that stuff?
Oh Jesus! Okay, let's quickly rewind. So the Thursday evening happened, right? It's all cool. We had drinks at the depot. It was amazing. Some participants came. I met Marcel for the first time. He's way taller than he sounds. Unbelievable. So.
What does that mean?
and I mean, it means that he can consume a lot more beer than me. That's what it means. So, and he does it well. So we had a great time, and then we got kicked out of the depot at one point, closing time. And then, of course, we had the idea, let's go for kebabs. So we went for some kebabs, and then people want to drink. So, but then I said at 2, okay, we have to be responsible. So I brought everyone home, and a couple of artists are going to stay at my place. Keman, Mias, and Artur. Really chill people. But what happened? So they went to pick up their stuff from the car while I went to drop off some speakers at the hotel, and then we will meet back at my place, in front of my door in Sachsenhausen. But then what happens is, I'm already back in my place, and I'm just looking out the window on the 5th floor, looking down, and I see like 3 shadows down the street with a huge mattress walking across the street. I'm like, okay, that must be them. Why are they carrying a mattress? It makes no sense. So, okay, I thought like, okay, maybe they brought a mattress in their car. I've seen this happen before with friends who go to festivals or whatever. So I go down there, to help them with the mattress. So we bring it up. It's me, Keman, Mias, Artur, and Django all at my place. And I ask, so guys, why did you bring a mattress? Where did you get it from? And Mias is like, yeah, we found it on the street, bro. And Mias is
what?
Like, yeah, Mias is a really cool guy. I love him, but he's like a one-man show 24/7. And so he was fucking with me all night, saying like funny stuff, like, so I didn't take him seriously. I said, yeah, right. So what happens? So I said, you didn't really need to bring a mattress because I already prepared stuff, you can sleep. So, no problem. So they all sleep here. Next morning, I'm like, we'll wake up, talking. So really, guys, why did you bring the mattress? Where is it from? Because it smells a little bit. No, we found it on the street, like, 1 block away from you. It's like, no, are you joking? They were like, seriously. So what happened?
That's awesome.
So I should not be saying this on a podcast, but when we had to, let's just say, remove the mattress from the house at some point, logistically speaking. And so Keman helped me with this, because of course, who knows where the hell that thing was.
And what was living in there?
The thing is, I've seen multiple mattresses on the street. I've seen a bunch of them. And not a single mattress that I saw lying on the street looked like something I wanted to sleep on. Seriously.
What's up with Frankfurt? Can you explain this to me, please? What's up with Frankfurt and mattresses?
They're all over the place. Anyway, so this is only one of few stories that have happened, and when you mentioned, okay, so I had a few speakers here, it was really cool. On Friday, you said you came home back. So this is not true, man. So what happened? On Friday, I was quite tired. Of course, we slept a few hours and then worked the whole day, make sure everything was going right. A lot of technical issues that had to be solved. So me, Keman, Django were all really, Chris K as well. He was also there from early morning. All really tired. We're all like literally saying like, Jesus Christ, we just want to get home. We just want to sleep. So we're walking back to my place. So me, Chris K, Django, and Keman. So we walk into my place. We walk up the stairs, and we're walking up the stairs, and like, damn, seems like one of my neighbors is having a party. Jesus, some loud music. So we'll keep walking up. We get to my door. It's like, sounds like the music might be coming from my place. So we open the door. And there's a goddamn house party at my place. Like 20, 30 people, smoking, beer everywhere, drunk people. And we were like, what the hell? How is this possible?
Oh, your flatmate.
So yeah, what happened? My flatmate had a birthday the day before, on the day itself, and he decided to throw a party. So I have a video of this. I will put it online. So Keman's looking at me like, oh crap. And Django is also like not happy. I'm also like, no way, this is not possible. This is just not happening. So we walk up to the room where Keman is supposed to sleep, and Chris, and I have a video of it, and it's full of people smoking, partying, music. Just we're like, okay,
no sleep for you this night.
This is not going. No sleep for us. So and I have a video of Keman, and Keman's like, oh, happy birthday, Florian, really great. And you can just see the disappointment on his face, like, oh, I'm not getting any sleep tonight. So in the end, I sent Keman and Chris back. I had some extra rooms, which thank God I prepared for. So I sent them back to the hostel so they could sleep. But me and Django, the party went until 2. Then the neighbors came. They were pissed. Then everybody had to leave. Then there was some other noise. So eventually I think I fell asleep at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was back at the conference like at 8. So that was really tough.
Oh my goodness.
That was really tough.
So there was a lot of partying.
There was a lot of partying.
Not only for you, right? And my talk was on Saturday, the first one, like at 10. And it was kind of depressing at the beginning because nobody was there, right? So
I was there.
Yeah, okay, you were there. But the funny thing is, like, there was a other talk parallel, right? And it was something about 2D. I don't know what it was exactly. And for some reason, I don't remember exactly, we changed rooms because for some technical stuff. So I was in the room, but on the program, there was the other room assigned, right? So I was standing there, and there were people coming into the room, looking around, seeing, because I started my talk already. I started the presentation, so the beamer would show the title page where you would read something with VFX, and then people were looking at it and said, "Oh, it's the wrong room," and then would turn around and go again, right? And I was waiting there with Marcel basically, and at the beginning,
I'm so sorry. I know. Yeah, the reason is, I switched room. Technical reasons are not so important, but I was like also there at 10, and I was like, oh damn, there's nobody here. I felt so bad. Like, no, what's happening? But I was like, no way, I can't let this happen. Like this speaker came all the way from Berlin, prepared everything, and I know it's going to be good. But what actually happened, like I said, we had a party the night before, and I know some people have continued partying. Most people are staying at the hostel, people go out. So what happened is, half an hour later, when I came back, eventually it was quite full. So it was like a normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we decided to wait a little bit, and then it filled up a bit more. But just to be sure, I introduced my talk with, okay, guys, if you want to see the 2D talk, then you are in the wrong room. and I was really happy that not everyone is like standing up and leaving.
No. But this is something I've learned. It had I think little to do with your talk, but I think it had a lot to do with the partying on Friday, and I think maybe 10 is also just slightly too early, especially given the fact that we party as well. So I think maybe 10 was not the best option.
No, but I think for these circumstances it was really good. I mean, at the end the room was kind of full, yeah. But it was so funny to just stand there and like, okay.
Yeah, I'm happy, but yeah, I'm happy it turned out pretty well.
It was, by the way, Simon, it was a really good talk. It was like my favorite one from the entire convention.
Thanks, man. I for those who are wondering about the recordings and stuff, so everything got recorded and we will put it onto the internet. And I put many more hours into reworking parts of the talk. So with some details I wasn't satisfied, some more illustration were needed, and I even spoke or re-recorded some parts. So it will be out at some day, but it will take a little bit more.
Be out sometime in the future. You're really a perfectionist, man. Like, really, from the first moment I met you, like, I need a room right now to perfect my presentation. And I was like, you just, not necessary. You can just wing it, but you're really perfect.
No.
See, if Simon delivers, he always delivers quality stuff. You should check out his blog. It's really good.
So, no, but awesome. Like I said, one of my colleagues went to your talk and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe what you can do with textures. You can't look at the world in the same light. It was really amazing.
Yeah, he introduced us to the Matrix.
Oh yeah, opened eyes. Yeah. So I think everyone got right now. That was a really cool event, and if there's another event, everyone should come. It was really, really cool.
Since you mentioned like people and such, I was quite surprised how international the convention was. And how many people from studios came. I mean, there was like people from, I don't know, like a Creative Assembly, from Star Citizen, like Foundry 42, Ninja Theory, and from a couple of local Frankfurt studios, and that was just insane. It was crazy. So it was like people from Italy, Spain, Sweden, the UK. It was super international. It was really, really cool. So good job, Dane.
Yeah. I haven't done the math, but I think it was basically every country except Belgium. There was no person from Belgium.
You mean European?
Yeah, I mean in the Eastern Europe, but basically all neighboring countries excluding Belgium. Yeah, yeah. So UK, like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, UK, Ireland. I also believe. I think Ireland. So it was pretty cool. I didn't expect that. So a lot of people said this. That they found it really cool to meet people, professional students, male, female, international. So it's like a lot of variation, or what's the right, diverse, super diverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was, I mean, for me, it was also cool to actually, it was really funny. Maybe it freaked out some people, but I remember people would say like, hey, my name is Vidas. Vidas Okinis. Yeah. From there. I was like, holy crap. How do you know this? Yeah, like, you registered, you're in my system. So, because it's not a lot of people, and, I keep staring at the same names all the time, and I'm in touch with them. So I kind of started naturally memorizing most names. So people would just come up to me and just say their first name or last name, like, oh yeah, I know you, this guy. And they were like, some were freaked out, some were like, holy shit, cool, you know all the names. So, but yeah, it was really cool to meet these people who sometimes I had long email discussions with about stuff to be organized or whatever. And I finally got to meet all these faces, also like you guys. And we've spoken many times, but never actually met in real life. So that was really amazing.
So, do you have some war stories you want to tell about stuff what went wrong? Usually these post-mortems go like what went good. I think we covered that now, and what went wrong is most times the really interesting stuff, right? If someone out there wants to organize an event like that as well, to have an eye on.
Well, I think the first mistake was to decide to organize a conference. So that's so if you're at that crossroads, just turn back. So I think the most horrible thing was arriving on Friday morning, 2 hours too late because I went out drinking with the guys, and I arrive in the big room and I noticed there's this like small shitty beamer middle of the room projecting like 800 by 600 resolution. And I'm thinking, that's odd. Why is there a 800 by 600 VGA beamer in the room? Like, we don't need it. It's, we have the big beamer, in the ceiling. It's like a huge, full HD beamer. That's strange.
It had a Windows 95 label on it.
No. So basically what happened is, so I called the tech guy. I said, dude, get this card and this beamer out and, give me the cable, the connection to the big beamer. And he's like, yeah, it's not working. I said, what do you mean it's not working? Yeah, it's not ready yet. The constructions or the renovations are delayed. I said, what do you mean delayed? It's supposed to be finished like 6 weeks early. No, they're 10 weeks late now. So then I was like, oh crap. So then I started fighting, or Django starts fighting with the guy. Like, what the hell, you are paying for this. Where's the beamer? So basically, moral of the story was the renovations were way too late. So the beamers, the new high HD beamers in both rooms were supposedly not working or not connected, and also the internet ports, the LAN ports everywhere were not working, which is also supposed to work. So I remember, and I was already 2 hours too late because I went out drinking with Marcel, which is an adventure on itself. So I was sitting there like with a headache and
You were not supposed to say that then.
he will get fired. We'll both lose our jobs after this. So now what happened is that's the first time in the whole project where I said, I have no idea what to do now. I was completely lost, really. I just completely freaking out because in 1.5 hours I have to start, opening up. People will start coming in. They want to see stuff. And I didn't have any adapters. I didn't have any backup plan. I just arrived there and I said, everything will be fine. It was promised. And there I'm fighting, my German is not so good. So I just started shouting random words like Schnitzel, Schrankschlüssel, whatever, just whatever I have to do to get a beamer working. Kartoffel, just shouting random stuff at the guy. And Django doesn't even speak German. So he starts tries speaking German. And he's like a Dutch guy living in UK for 5 years. And he's never spoken German in his life. So he starts and my German is not good, but he's just random stuff is coming out of him. And this guy's like, I don't understand what you guys are saying. But then by chance, I look at his name tag and I see, the guys in the hostel, they have name tags with their name and what languages they speak. And one of the flags was the flag of Croatia. I happen to be from Croatia, so I can speak Croatian. So I just started talking Croatian to this guy, like, hey, what's going on? What is this? So eventually we finally can communicate with each other. And he was a really nice guy. His name is Darko. He's one of the tech guys. It was really helpful. It's not his fault that the renovations are too late. Anyway, so thank God they got a new beamer, which was 1280 by 700 or 720, acceptable. And, he helped me with other stuff.
But still VGA, right?
Still
it was
VGA.
only VGA connector, no HDMI, exactly. no something.
Yeah. So I was completely unprepared for this. I was like, how do I connect this? I mean, I came assuming, I have an HDMI laptop, I have an HDMI adapter, all is good. I had my computer, I brought my personal computer for the big room, for the top room, it has HDMI. So this is one of the reasons why I had to switch a lot of talks the first day, because the only VGA adapter I had was for a MacBook, for DisplayPort. So I had to switch the computers from room, but because I had to switch the computers, I had to switch the speakers as well, because they prepared for, either Windows or the laptop. So this was caused a lot of confusion, gave me a big headache, but in the morning I was really sitting there with this really empty feeling in my stomach, like this is going to be a disaster, because I had no idea what to do. But luckily, again, Mitch and his cousin and his brother, they really have to be thanked, because they showed up really early, and I was really running around freaking out, like, dude, I don't know what to do. The sound is not working. I have no adapters. And he's just like, oh yeah, I brought everything. I have 10 adapters. I got a 25 meter LAN cable. And he was like, yeah, I was also thinking of bringing my own HD beamer, but I thought that would be a bit douchey, so I just left it at home. So I was like, dude, you should have brought it. So this guy came completely prepared for an event he's not even organizing. So he saved the day with his adapters. And then, they are super tech guys. So they were like, oh, here's how the sound works. So they were teaching me how the microphones work on the spot. These are things I just didn't think of. So if there's one war story I will remember, it's that first morning with a slight hangover and just being completely lost. But again, normally it shouldn't have been this way. Everything should have been working, if the renovations were done on time. So, it's one of those things that shouldn't have happened, but did happen. I survived
and the Fritzbox Wi-Fi stick will always have a place in our heart as well.
Yeah. So here's the continuation of the small. So because the LAN cables were not working, and my computer does not have Wi-Fi, which again I assumed they told me it would be ready, so I don't need a Wi-Fi module. I didn't buy one, didn't prepare, and then Marcel had to run at home to get a Fritzbox Wi-Fi module, and then. You guys spent a long time installing the drivers and everything. I remember on Friday evening. I'm so thankful for that.
Oh yeah, for the live demos. That was, by the way,
for the live demos,
one of the coolest parts of the entire event. There was Simon mentioned before that there was on the first floor there was the smaller room with 7 rows of chairs in it, and everybody was really close together. It was a really full a classroom. A beamer, a big table, a VPC in the front, and that was where we had talks, and also the live demos late at night. We started I did 1 hour of Marvelous Designer, and after me was Michel doing 1 hour of Substance Painter, and the room was packed. And like you mentioned, Daniel, with took like an hour or two to set everything up because we had no Wi-Fi and we had to install all the tools and such. But once we started, it was so cool. Like everybody had like a beer, and then I was like just modeling something in Marvelous Designers. People were making jokes, and they raised their hands and asked questions, and we had discussions while I was modeling, and it was just like a super cool atmosphere and environment to present a tool in. And I would have loved to do more of those, like 5 in a row or whatever it was, because it was so cool. And I would like did a break every now and then to get a new beer or new drink whatsoever. And then it was Michel's turn, and it was such a fun atmosphere. It was like everybody was somehow involved, even though like Michel and I were presenting something. It felt like everybody was part of it, which was amazing. I really, really enjoyed those 2.5 hours. And it was like one of my highlights of the event.
This was like, for example, these are things I didn't plan. Like normally, this is what we call a lucky accident, or what's it called?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like in a big room with music and stuff. You know.
I'm so happy that there was these technical problems and it couldn't get solved, so I had to move rooms. I had to switch you, because in the end I realized one of the most striking feedbacks I got was from these 2 hours with you guys. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it felt so intimate, it felt so casual, but it's still extremely professional. And of course, it's nighttime, and there's the music coming from upstairs, and you have the beer." And even me, I went when I was walking by, or I took some minutes I had to come and check it out. I was like, wow, there's such an amazing atmosphere here. It's like you feel extremely connected to the speaker, to the presentation. And I was so happy that it didn't happen in the big room, because we would have never realized how special and intimate it is. And this is one of the things I would like to that should happen again. And a lot of people came after saying like, "Wow, that's so cool! They had never done it before, never seen it before." So I'm even in a war story, there's some very good happy accidents that.
That was great. That was so great.
No, I mean, many of the major inventions of mankind are like created by happy accidents, right? So I think that that does not have to be something bad, right?
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I have to get back to the VGA story again, because it's it's just so funny. You go into the room, you see that the beamer is on, so you see something projected on the wall, and then you look up and you see this huge HD beamer on the ceiling.
It's like a tiny car attached to the ceiling. It's like massive.
Yeah, and you think, wow, that's high tech beast. That's awesome. It's gonna be great. And then someone touches you on the shoulder and says, no, it's the other one.
Yeah.
But the other one. Then you look it down, and then you see this tiny little thing standing there.
Standing on 3 wheels, a little bit crooked.
Yeah. Like the Jesus Christ, you have no idea how lost I felt, because you come in and you see this little cart with a beamer on, and you're thinking like, oh, it must have been from a presentation yesterday, from another group. And, and the guy comes in and Django is like, well, what is this thing doing here in the middle of the room? Let's get it out of here. We need to put in the chairs. And then the guy's like, no, that's your beamer. Like,
that's the beamer.
Like, what?
But so the point is, like we said, it only has a VGA connector, right? And luckily, my gaming laptop, I have a gaming laptop, it's like 10 kilogram, huge thing. And luckily, it has a VGA connector in addition to HDMI and stuff. I don't know why they put it in, but I was really lucky, because with that, I just could put on my laptop on the beamer, connected, everyone would work. But thing is, when you saw my last presentation about the VFX of Rhyme, you maybe have noticed that every slide I use have a little texture, a little concrete texture in the background, just to make it look nice, right? And then on top you see a lot of GIFs or pictures or whatever. And everything worked totally fine when I had this talk. So, but when I connected my computer to this beamer, I don't know if it's about the speed of the VGA, of the data, or for some reason, when I changed the slide, you would see first white blank white, the whole slide would be white, then the background concrete texture would plop in, and then the GIF or whatever is on top. And we had to turn down the light into the room, in the room, so that everyone could really have a good view on the beamer and see everything, which means that with every slight change, with every change from one slide to another, you would have like the Man in Black thingy, right? Forget everything. You would have a slide. What was this? Okay, and this was crazy. So 5 minutes or something before I had my talk, I had to remove this background concrete texture from my talk and replace it with a little gray value, just to make sure that the people don't get their eyes burned out with every change when I change a slide. Oh man,
I didn't even notice. Oh god, I'm so sorry.
And it was fun as well, since you mentioned like the light. We had to, the room was big and a very modern, freshly renovated, but it was like one window where the blinds were missing.
They couldn't be closed.
They couldn't be closed. There were just no blinds. Everything was like perfectly working, and I was like having my talk, and the sun was shining. It was like the thing that happens once every 1,000 years, you know, there's like 3 holes that have to line up with the sun, and then it hits a certain spot. And that certain spot was exactly where my presentation was supposed to be projected on the wall. The sun was like shining through the tiny hole, like where there was like the spot without blinds, directly through it onto the wall. And then somebody had to put up some trash bags or something.
Yeah, this is also one of those things. Like, of course, we were going to put down the blinds, you know, during the day, so you can see the. But again, we were going to do it anyway, but because we had the shitty beamer, the light, the luminosity was not so heavy. So, you know, but one of the blinds was broken also on each side, so those windows didn't go down. So then we had to get some. I think we used some Tischdecke, let's call it, some tablecloths, to cover up the windows during the day. So like all these little things, you know, like, of course, I don't blame the guys. You know,
it worked out. I mean, there was your helpers immediately reacted, and I put up something like, tablecloth or whatever. I thought it was some.
Yeah, like I said, these guys are legendary. They just proactive, didn't even ask them. They just like, okay, this is not working. What can we do to solve it? So, you know, it really helped a lot.
One thing though that I missed, Daniel, that you have to give an update on, because I had some like family duties and I couldn't stay until the very, very, very end. So I was like, after the portfolio review on Sunday, I had to leave. So I didn't get who was winning the competition and how the entire like prize ceremony whatsoever kind of went. Could you give us some like insights on that one?
Well, the prize ceremony was very casual, since it was a very casual atmosphere. Although in my mind, I wanted to do it a bit more official and more like really out there. But in the end, in the moment, I decided to do it a little bit more casual because it was a casual atmosphere. But what happened is we had entry hand-ins, you know, people via USB stick or via Wi-Fi or whatever possible. And so I took a look at the artworks, and it was actually me. And this is I have to thank Simon Kopp, because he also gave some really good feedback on, or really changed my way of thinking on some entries. And so we just kind of talked together, me and him, and we just decided on the spot. And then I just did a small announcement on. I showed the 3 entries, which were the top entries, and then I went from 3 to 2 to 1. And the winner is, you can see it on the Facebook page. I uploaded the winners. It's the first prize was Alexander Tümmler, and he has a really awesome piece called Underground Transmutation Symposium. And maybe I should quickly mention what the competition was about. So on Thursday evening, what I did is I was planning an art competition during the conference, but I intentionally left the idea unknown. I had no idea. And I said, okay, on Thursday evening, because during the drink, which I was hoping to do, we'll just come up, whoever shows up and the speakers will just come up on the spot with an idea. It's going to be really cool, a cool thing. So, and then we came up with this idea called alchemy as a theme for the event. And we started brainstorming some words and very cool words. And we put these words in a jar, and you had to take out 3 words blindly, and then with these 3 words you had to make an art piece. Yeah, and let me say that this kind of idea combined with some beer and fun really gave some really R-rated words as well, which I had to filter out later. Anyway, Alexander Tüngler had a really cool piece, and everybody, I think most of us saw this guy working for the whole day, every day. He was really into it, and it was a really cool piece. And then the second place was, I think, Lisa Heine, I believe, which was called Mighty
Stellar Sandstorm.
Mighty Stellar Sandstorm was also a very interesting piece, very funny, specific style. And the third one was, I would say, one of my favorites. It's from Vanasia, I believe. It's Star Nature Angelic, I believe. And it was this really, really interesting little girl which had a very the hands. I fell in love with the hands. There's a lot of emotion, feeling to it. But in the grand sense of everything, Alexander was the obvious winner, and
he got the Cintiq, right?
No, Cintiq. Oh
no, what was it?
Intuos. It was an Intuos.
Intuos, okay, yeah.
That was promised.
Nice.
But speaking of the Cintiqs, but you had some Cintiqs there, right? You had a lot of hardware from some, right?
Yes, I have to take this opportunity to also thank Wacom, because my dealings with them were amazingly positive, and they were extremely flexible and supporting. So I really have to thank Wacom and Jeroen, who was my contact. Absolutely fantastic to deal with. They sent me some hardware to use Cintiqs and Intuos. Again, the idea was to set up a dedicated space, either during the day or during the night, with everything I got. But because of all the small details and unsuspected or unplanned problems, we just didn't come around to setting up everything in a way, because it's quite expensive stuff. So it has to be done properly and carefully, and has to be watched, and and we just didn't come around to it. Although on Saturday evening we did put in the effort, and we had a Cintiq in the party room for trying, and I think and there were some people trying it out and playing with it. I also, one of the speakers requested one of the Intuos Pros that we had, and he used it for his live demo. It was like a new, fresh Intuos Pro, and he was like very amazed, like to play with a little toy for a while. But the planning, the original idea was to really have like give a lot of people the opportunity to try it out and sit behind it. But like I said, for example, I had to use my computer for the presentations, because the one of the computers that I got sponsored was not working properly, so I couldn't use that one. So the idea was to use the sponsored computer for presentations, and my computer for hooking up a Cintiq and having a dedicated Cintiq spot. But yeah, it didn't work out that way. So maybe next time.
Yeah, you even bought some additional RAM, right? You put it into PC or something, right?
Oh, I wish Bao was here. I love that guy. Bao, if you're listening, I love him, man. I had a great time with him. Okay, so what happened is, let's just say that I was surprised by the amount of speakers who were winging it. Really, with all the respect, they did all a great job. But man, these guys love to wing it, like pro, really. So what happened is, Bao made like this really, Bao was really into it. He did this personal project that he was preparing especially for the conference, was really into it. And he prepared this really cool character. And I remember he said like, I will need to use your computer because it's a pretty heavy file. I said, yeah, no problem. It's cool. It's for presentations anyway now. So that what happens is, I think he tries to do some stuff on Friday, but it didn't work out. And then Saturday, I think a few hours before he talks, he comes to me and he says like, dude, I have nothing. There is no talk. I can't do anything. And I was like, what do you mean? There's no talk. He said, my file, it's not exporting. I was like, what the hell? Like, what to do? So I said like how big is the character? Like, 5 million polygons, 6, maybe 10, He's like, no, it's like 50, 60. I'm like, holy crap. So I have 8 gigabytes of RAM, DDR3 RAM, and I was like, pretty sure this is not going to import this character. So I remember, Johannes and Simon are having their talk. And then it's Chris, I think, Chris Goodall after I believe. And then it's lunch and then it's Bao. So it's like already 10 in the morning, 11. And I was like, okay, so what I did, I just jumped on my bike. I went to the first hardware store I could find in, I think it's Konstablerwache, like 10-minute biking. I just walk in there. I go to the tech guy and with my best German, he's like, Entschuldigung, ich brauche 32 gigabyte RAM now. And I didn't know the word for now in German. So I just like, now. And the guy's looking at me, du musst nach unten gehen. So I go downstairs and I just like, first guy, I need this right now. So he just like opens like a drawer, takes out 32 gigabytes RAM and said, do you want to know, willst du wissen, wie viel das kostet? Nein. Straight to the Kassa, just paid it and just ran back. So, and then in between two talks, just before Chris's talk, I put in the RAM and Bao takes a seat behind the computer while Chris does his presentation on his laptop. Now, everybody thought that Bao is part of the talk, but the guy is just sitting there like freaking out the whole time and waiting for his export. And he's like and you can see him on the videos being slightly uncomfortable, of course, because when every minute, the time is ticking and his import is not working or crashing. So he told me that 10 minutes before his talk, the import finally succeeded and he had something to show. So he was really shitting his pants, like really. It was really like one of those heated war stories again. So then there's even more. There's more to tell. You have no idea. So, but it was great fun. It was really great fun. And thank you, Bao. Now I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. So now I can finally open more than 2 tabs in Chrome. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that you were really, really good. How do you say this? Host, and you cared a lot about all the people you invited. Right?
Yeah, I wanted to do. I like I said, I didn't want the show to stop. The show had to go on. I didn't want any. I wanted to the feeling that the people had. I wanted to keep it as smooth as possible. So there's one war story I do want to tell personally, which very few people, which nobody knows except Django, is what happened is on Saturday evening. So I prepared this is also a cool thing to tell people. On Saturday, we transformed the smaller room, which was still pretty big, into a dedicated virtual reality room. So we set up a HTC Vive and people could go in and paint what's it called?
A VR painting.
The VR painting from Google, Tilt Brush.
Yeah, Tilt Brush, exactly.
Yeah, so it was a huge space and you could see what people were drawing on the projection. It was really cool. So this was sponsored by the company I work for, MRM, so I have to really thank them for that. It was really amazing. Everybody loved it. But at 12 in the evening, like sharp 12 a.m., I get a phone call from Django. It's never good. When he calls, this is not good. So he calls me and he says, Daniel, the controllers are blinking red. What does that mean? I said, that means they are dead in 10 minutes. And I was like, fuck. We forgot to charge the controllers or they were half empty. So I was like, what do I do now? This, I can't let it end now. It was even sooner. I mean, it was not even 12. It was way earlier. We started at 9:30. It was like after 1 hour or so. So I said, okay, I can't let this end. So what I did is I just hopped on my bike, didn't have my bike lights. I forgot my bike lights. And I just raced to the office, which was about 15 minutes, just raced to the office on a Saturday evening, went into our lab and just took 2 controllers from there and just ran back, like raced back super fast, just on time before the old controllers were dead, because I didn't want people to have to like leave or to wait. Didn't want to be to this point. I just want them to keep going. So I arrived right on time, put the controllers down. The old ones ran out of battery and just switched them and started charging the other ones. And nobody noticed anything, but and here's the funny thing. So what happened is I came back while I was racing through the city. I heard some people shouting at me like, hey, do something. And I had no time to stop. I thought it was just drunk people crazy. So I just arrived at the event, gave the controllers. I was like, I need a beer now. I need to calm down. So I go upstairs, I grab a beer. And I was like, I have this checkup that I do, left pocket keys, right pocket phone, back pocket wallet, right? So I check all my pockets. They're all cool. And I was like checking my back pocket. I was like, I think it's my wallet. So I want to take out my wallet. And I grab in my back pocket. I take it out and it's my magic mouse. I said, why the hell is my magic mouse in my back pocket? And I was like, oh God, no. I think my wallet fell out while I was on the bike, and this is why people were shouting at me. I was like, oh God, no. I was like, this sucks. All my credit cards, everything, I was like, I really couldn't handle it, so I said, fuck this. And then I turned around and my beer was gone. I'm like, God damn it. So I just grabbed another beer. So I was like, really like, this sucks. What do I do now? Do I like freak out? Do I just start shouting, or what can I do? I said, it's nothing I can do right now. So I just grab another beer. I just like start drinking, put the beer down, just look down. There's my wallet. Fuck yes, party on. Like, opa. Like really, I have no idea how it ended up on the floor anywhere in the middle of the room. But there it was. And I was like,
oh,
so
God.
happy.
So you didn't
really
actually lose something on the bike. It was just drunk people being drunk.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I have no idea how it end up there on the floor next to the DJ or whatever. I just grabbed a beer, just drank like, glug, 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 put the beer down and just like right in front of me on the floor. There's my
And then you got your beautiful endorphin dose. Just like...
Yeah, that was some adrenaline.
I think the people, they were trying to offer you a mattress or something. Hey, you, sleep here.
Sleep here.
And your magic mouse, is this a mouse, how I imagine, or why is it magic?
Yeah, it's called a magic mouse from Apple. I have no idea why I put it in my bag. But the funny thing is, I thought I had my wallet with me the whole day. But at some point, I must have like switched it with my mouse, and I thought, I got my wallet with me, it's all good. But this was my mouse. So, you know.
Oh well.
So, anyway.
Oh, by the way, I just remembered something funny. When we did those like live demos, I had to like install like a Max to do a couple of bass meshes for Marvelous Designer, and for some reason, the installation was in German, and it was like the most fun ever, because if you know the English Max, is like almost impossible to use the German one, because they literally translate everything. And we, like, the entire room was sometimes laughing about those awkward, like, words that appear suddenly. Like, a box is a quader, if you want to, like, and like, a editable mesh is, what was it again?
Es ist ein bearbeitbares
veränderbares Netz or something like that. It's like totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we were all
like really literal.
Yeah, seriously. It was like Google Translate all over the place. We had such a good time. Oh God. And Quader even became like one of the secret hashtags that we use if we post something on Twitter that is related to like digital art convention. Yeah.
Okay, but now since you mentioned it, I prepared something like this for the Game Dev podcast, exactly this issue, and I collected some of the funniest words from 3D Studio Max, and it's not just the words. The thing is, if you, for example, have in Photoshop the file menu or something, right, the order doesn't change. So even if you don't know the word, you could just, okay, I remember that button, it should be, right? Thing is, the modifier list in 3D Studio Max
sorted by name.
Is sorted by alphabet. So when the names change, the ordering changes, and then you don't find anything. And what do we have? So we have editable mesh. This is the bearbeitbares Netz. Then I really like fixed window is festverglast. And
I'm not even German, actually, and it's funny.
But I have to say, this is, I think, something from architectural standpoint, and it's really about windows, like producing windows for houses or something. It's just so funny. Then we have Snap Override is vorübergehende Objektfang. And Angle Snap is Winkelfang. Then we have, this is really nice. Assign Vertex Colors is Scheitelpunktfarben zuweisen. Scheitelpunktfarben, are you kidding me? And then we have, if you have blend, just blend, then it's überblenden. That's like, okay, no problem. But if you have a blend curve, this is a Verschmelzungskurve. And then we have Chamfer. This is abkanten.
This sounds more like you're going on a dance floor. Ich gehe mal ein bisschen abkanten.
Yeah, or drinking. Hey, let's go abkanten.
That should be that should be the theme for next time. Let's get abgekannt or something like this.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I have to be. You do realize that this is only German only jokes. So for international listeners, we're sorry.
But even though
trust us,
the
it's
audience,
quite funny.
It was really funny. And if you're on Twitter, look for the Quada hashtag. You will find a lot of DEFCON related posts there.
Oh man, super cool. Okay, so, do we have more stuff we want to share with the people out there?
I think this is a good moment to give some organizational announcements quickly for all the people who are interested in seeing some footage of the event. Go to Digital Art Conference Frankfurt on Facebook. I've uploaded, I believe, all the pictures I've found. Also some videos. It will give an impression of the event. And I have a lot of behind the scenes footage that's mostly not child friendly, let's say, but quite funny, really good adventure. And I'm hoping that in the near future there will be like a small, I wouldn't say documentary, but like a video of the whole experience, you know, with some backstage footage and everything. But nice. I have no timeline for this. And in the meantime, I'm working on slowly putting all the talks together. You know, I have to produce them, render them, and then put them on YouTube. It will also go online, I think, in the next few weeks, tops. Most likely by the end of October, everything should be online.
Cool.
Yeah. Danijel, thank you very much for everything. It was like every single minute was really well spent. It was awesome.
So, like I said before we started the talk, I think a lot of people are asking for a second edition, and it seems to me like I don't even control. I don't even have the decision anymore. What will happen next? So, but yeah,
I'm looking forward to your decision. I can only repeat myself. It was totally worth it, and I think it would be valuable for like Frankfurt to have more of these in the future. But it's up to you. I mean, you're the boss.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know when this podcast will go out, but maybe it's also a good time to announce something. I decided today. I will be organizing. There I go again in the organizing mood. Haven't I learned my lesson? But no, I had a really great time drinking or just meeting people and talking in depot, at the depot in Frankfurt Süd. So I've decided to do, or just, make like a Facebook event, open invitation for people who are in Frankfurt, just like an after work, drink at the depot.
That's nice.
Sometime in October.
Cool.
And I hope some local people who were at the conference or people who didn't go to the conference just show up. And it will be just, like after work creative drinks, like we had, Marcel.
Yep.
But, of course, without the conference. I don't know about the date, but it will be, most likely in October. So, I will put it online on Facebook and we can send out invitations, and people who are from Frankfurt or nearby can come have a drink. We can talk about all the good memories we had and just meet new people, and people who weren't there can come and, just have a creative evening talk. And in the worst case, I will be there alone, just sitting, sketching and thinking about the future or life, whatever.
Just don't make just make sure it's not the last week of October, by the way. That's my personal interest, because it's my birthday weekend, and I want to do both.
Yeah, or maybe we should do both. Just have one long weekend party, pre-drinks, after drinks, and like I always say, and then we machen alles kaputt.
Wir machen alles kaputt, genau.
Okay, with these words, I think we can close the episode. Wir machen alles kaputt. Thanks for taking the time, and I think it was really, really cool information here. It was really fun to talk to you. Thanks to you, Marcel, as well.
Hashtag Quada.
Hashtag Quada. And I would say let's see next year, 2018 in Frankfurt then, right?
Oh, you put me in a tight spot. Let's say I'm still resting and recovering, and once I feel normal again and everything and the dust has settled, let's see what happens.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, bye guys.
All right, bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye. See you. Thanks, guys.